Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Toastmasters International online event. Siyanamukela, Riyalamukela, Notangenedziwa, JS Welcome. For the most pleasant experience of this event, please pay careful attention to the following online technical Zoom guidelines. If your device audio disconnects during the session, please click on Join Audio Settings found at the bottom left corner of your in-meeting controls panel. Then click on Join with Computer Audio or Call via Device Audio pop-up. It is a good visual meeting etiquette to always have your device muted if not invited to speak. To mute your device audio, click on the microphone shaped icon found at the bottom left corner of your screen in your in-meeting controls panel. If your microphone is muted, it should be marked unmute with a red stripe. To unmute your device audio, click on the same microphone shaped icon found at the bottom left corner of your screen in your in-meeting controls panel. When it is unmuted, your microphone should be marked mute. Please note, at this time we can hear everything you are saying. To start your device video, click on the video icon also found in your in-meeting controls panel. When your device video icon is marked stop, note that it is on and meeting participants may see you or the activities taking place from where you are joining this event. To stop your device video, click on the video icon also found in your in-meeting controls panel. Your device video icon should now be marked with start video, marked with a red stripe, meaning it is off. The chat box will remain open throughout the session. We encourage you to use it for messages related to this event or participants in this event. When doing so, please observe the Toastmasters International values, especially integrity and respect. If you experience any technical challenges, please reach out or send a direct message to our Zoom master of the session. Later in this session, you will be invited to join a breakout room. When any of these pop-up screens show on your device, please click join and you will be taken to your designated breakout room. When your special session with one of our facilitators has ended, please leave the breakout room, not the meeting, and you will be redirected to this main session. From time to time, please show us love and laughter by using any of the reaction emojis found in your device in-meeting controls panel. Sit back, relax, and learn. Ladies and gentlemen, let the edutainment begin.
My message very well, and you know what people you know what there's this thing that people do when they praise you and you think you are in it. So I started preaching and preaching and preaching, and I could feel myself that I'm getting it, I'm feeling it, and the congregation was backing me up with all those amen, yes sister, go. And then the moment came. So I wanted to make my message impactful. I wanted to not just speak, but I wanted to touch lives. I wanted to show people how it feels. I wanted to make people see that they've got a superpower. And what I decided to do, I don't know whether it was a stroke of genius or it was just a mess up on my side. I decided to bring with me a pair of scissors. Okay. Having seen what was happening in the news, I decided to bring a pair of scissors to explain the 10 plagues in Egypt. On my peak, hyped up, preaching with a pair of scissors, I said to the congregation, Mina ngiwa by 10 ngaba slicer. And that actually went right through the bishop's beard, cut it symmetrically, and the beard fell off. Mind you, the bishop had a very strange beard. It was growing on the sides, but in the middle, it wasn't growing. So me showing that Moses, after the 10 plagues and everyone of Pharaoh's people came up at him. He managed to win against all of them. I wanted to make it impactful, but it was a mistake on my side. So I was hyped up. I cut the bishop's beard. And while I was trying to figure out the situation, the, the deacon ran towards the bishop to pick up the beard. So, panicking, I wanted to lose the pair of scissors. I threw the Bible right at the deacon. Now, the deacon is hurt, the bishop's beard is cut. I'm standing there, I'm looking at the bishop is looking at me, we're looking at each other, and I'm like, run. I ran. I never went back to church. Every time the bishop tries to call me, I don't answer. To this day, I'm still recovering. And all because I wanted to make my message impactful. I wanted to give and to tell my story. I wanted to make people see their superpower. But the way I did it was not the way I should have done it. I have learned my lesson. Trust me, I have learned my lesson. It was painful. I don't want to lie to you. It was painful to run away because I never stopped. Mind you, I was wearing high heels. I left the high heels at church. My sister came back home with my high heels saying, the bishop said it was okay. But I know it's not okay because he loved his beard. But I saw that his beard is growing very nicely. Hey, it's no longer growing like a wisdom tooth. But hey, it is the story that I carry with me that I've been dying to share. A bad experience, but because I found Toastmasters, I am able now to stand in front of people and give a story, tell a story without acting it, without having the scissors, the knives, or anything that is going to make me run for my life. With that being said, fellow Toastmasters, I want to say that we have the program. May I please ask the Zoom master to share the program online, to share the program on the chat for us, for those who do not have the program. We are having a jam-packed event tonight. We have a beginner speaker, someone's going to be speaking. They are still in their early stage of learning how to speak publicly. We have an advanced speaker, and then we have the top of the range, the keynote speaker. And that is what we have for tonight. But for now, I want you to pay attention to our next speaker. That is Zintle Grope. She is going to tell us about her story in Toastmasters. Don't touch that dial, drink that drink, and enjoy. Sit back, and Zintle, over to you.
Madam MC, I just got an apology from Zintle and Dineo. Unfortunately, they can't make it for that part. Perhaps you can just briefly alert the audience in terms of what is it about, or maybe Paul can take over quickly before we move on to the next item. I will be sharing the program in the chat so long.
Great.
I
Paul,
just
over
want
to
to
you.
say, Mbali, I love your story just now. It's fantastic. And I think I'm going to, if I ever meet this bishop, you can please send me his name. I'm going to call him Samson. And tonight, you're not Mbali, you're Delilah.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the fun I told you about here in Toastmasters? If it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters. The member moment is a opportunity for a member to share about their story in Toastmasters. It is an opportunity for it is an opportunity for people to give a feedback on how Toastmasters has transformed their life. As I have mentioned, that Toastmasters has helped me. After that moment, I never went back to church because I was scared of the bishop. But today I have the courage to stand in front of people and to say to myself, I want to fail fast, I want to fail often, and I want to fail forward. Toastmasters has enabled me to find that place. As the video has mentioned, that Toastmasters is a place where we learn by practicing. You do not get to learn the waters by just studying the water. You get to learn the water by getting in the water and doing what you're supposed to do in the waters. Please don't forget to interact with us. Emojis, video on, as long as it's not destructive movements. And just say, like Paul said, that I am Delilah. No, I refuse that one. It was a mistake, genuine mistake, but I'm glad the bishop's beard is growing very nicely. He looks really handsome now. Now, moving right along to the next part of the meeting. For those of you who do not have the meeting agenda, it has been please go back to church. I will go back to church. I'm still gathering my courage. What if the bishop punches me or throws the Bible at me? It's not just the bishop, people, it's also the deacon as well. So I've got two people that I'm scared of at church. But moving right along with the program, for those who do not have the program, please note that the program has been copied and shared on the chat. Please feel free to download. And we are now going to move over to our first speaker for tonight. Our first speaker for tonight is doing a beginner speech. And in Toastmasters, we are all about feedback. We believe that feedback is a breakfast of the champion. The reason why we do feedback, because we believe that each and everything that is done, it has to be done with improvement over time. So what we do when we give feedback, and you will listen to the evaluator that's going to be evaluating the speech, is that we don't evaluate the person. Just like they say in soccer, they say don't go for the man, go for the ball. We evaluate the speech, not the person. So pay attention, because also in this meeting, you as the attendee will be evaluating our advanced speaker. So you will get your moment to share your story. Maybe you also have your story of cutting the bishop's beard, or who knows, throwing the Bible at the deacon. But the first speaker for tonight is Siboniso Moyo. Siboniso will be delivering her beginner speech, which is an icebreaker, and Siboniso will be evaluated by Erica McKay. Erica, can you please come to the fore and give us the speech objective of Siboniso's speech? Over to you, Erica.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. So for an icebreaker, the purpose is simply to introduce yourself to the club. It's the first speech we are dying to hear. It's usually the scariest speech when you join Toastmasters, but the aim is to just get up and talk, and talking about yourself is usually the easiest way. So I'm really excited to hear this wonderful speech by Siboniso. It's entitled Meet Sibo, the Explorer. So a little bit of intrigue in the title as well. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madam Evaluator. I know that we are all looking forward to hearing what Sibo the Explorer is going to tell us. Fellow Toastmasters, the seasoned one, visitors and guests, ladies and gentlemen, please show your love by the reaction as I call to the fore Sibo the Explorer. Meet Sibo the Explorer. Sibo, over to you.
Woo, woo, woo!
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How exciting it is to call you fellow Toastmasters when just a while ago I was sitting here as a guest, curious, slightly nervous, and wondering what this journey would hold. It's truly a pleasure to stand before you and share a little bit about myself. I believe every person carries a story, and mine has taken me across borders, culture, and climates. By the end of this speech, I hope you will understand not just who I am, where I come from, but why I chose to join this vibrant community. I was born in Zambia, in a province called Copperbelt, in the town called Kitwe, to be specific. If you've never heard about it, just imagine where copper is not just a metal, it's part of our identity. Zambia is one of the largest producers of copper in the world, and growing in the heart of it, it gave me a sense of pride and belonging, connection to the land. History has it that my family runs from Southern Africa. My father's grandfather migrated from Zimbabwe to Zambia long ago when it was called Northern Rhodesia. He migrated to Zambia with his Swati wife from Eswatini. So yeah, it's actually a cocktail of culture, Zimbabwean, Eswatini, and Zambian. If we dig deep more, maybe there could be more surprises. Who knows? My name carries that movement, migration, and blending tradition. I grew up in an environment that valued togetherness, resilience, and storytelling, where my grandparents would sit us down and tell us about the stories of how they grew up, how they fought independence. Life was fun before technology. Everything felt like bonding. People would bond so much. It felt like a mini Toastmasters meeting every evening. The only difference it was because it had laughter in it. I did my primary and secondary education in Kitwe, and after completing my education, I went to Lusaka, which is the capital city of Zambia, to do my supply chain management course. That movement from my hometown to Lusaka, it sparked something just to explore more, something unfamiliar. And that spark ignited me to travel, and it led me to South Africa, a country full of energy, diversity, and opportunities. It was that time when I pursued my further studies and began my profession in procurement in South Africa. South Africa was vibrant and transformative to me. I learned to adapt quickly, to listen deeply, and to appreciate the beauty of difference. But the explorer in me was not yet done. My journey eventually brought me to Poland, a land of pierogi. Pierogi is one of the Polish favorite dish. Every Polish house that you visit, they'll tell you about pierogi, a land that is covered with snow during winter. The challenges of the language that I always struggle every day, the different culture, the climate, everything, and the way people greet themselves. But I embraced the unknown. I learned how to navigate new systems and also learn part of the language, how to order the ticket of a train in Polish without switching to Polish. And halfway through, I managed. I would celebrate such victories of any little thing that I do. Poland has become a part of growth for me, both personally and professionally. I have continued to build my career, expand my network, and to deepen my appreciation for global perspective. Living here has taught me that home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that one creates everywhere you go. And through all this transition, one thing has just remained constant: the importance of communication. I have seen how words can bridge cultures, spark ideas, and build relationships. That's why I joined Toastmasters. I want to develop my public speaking and also to become an attentive listener. That's my story, not just of places, but of people, ideas, and possibilities. I am excited to learn from each of you and grow through feedback. Thank you. This is my story.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen to that. A story about the love of traveling, a story about opening up yourself to other cultures. I love that. I love that. More than anything, what I picked up from the story is that time is what you have now. The fact that our speaker decided to explore, and she calls herself as an explorer. Indeed, Sibo, it's amazing when you give yourself out and you give your time, because what they say about time? Time is the only currency. Time is the only currency that you cannot deposit once you withdraw it. And I'm glad that you're investing your time very well by spending it with the people that pour into you, that transform you, and the people that actually shape up your life. Thank you so much for that speech. Now, moving over to our next speaker, I would like to bring everyone attention to this. Our next speaker is an advanced speaker. An advanced speaker is someone that has been with Toastmasters for some time. They have given a couple of speech or more than 5 to 6 speeches. They have been on their pathway, which is a program that is found in Toastmasters that you go through. It teaches you how to speak. It teaches you what you need to do in your speeches, and it advances you as you go into the program deeper and deeper. I would like to ask our attenders to pay attention to the next speaker because they will be evaluating their speaker. But for now, before we go to the evaluation of the other speaker that has not spoken, let's start now by evaluating the speaker that has just spoken. I'm going to ask Erica to please come to the fore and give us the evaluation of our speaker. Over to you, Erica.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Sibo, can I see you? What a fantastic speech. I think definitely for your first speech, we can all give you a fantastic round of applause. That was really good. And in fact, I can say to you, dziękuję. Which is probably the only Polish word I know.
Are we trying to add a reply right now?
I loved your opening when you spoke about how exciting it is to call us fellow Toastmasters when just the week before you'd just been a guest. I thought that was such a lovely transition as to your journey with us. I also loved a lot of the words you used. The cocktail of culture. How beautiful is that? The image that it created was lovely. You were in a community that valued togetherness, resilience, and storytelling.
Wow.
Really painted a beautiful picture for us about your background.
Yeah.
I loved the journey that you took, moving to Lusaka and then to South Africa and finally to Poland. Don't think you said where in Poland, but really loved the little story you told as you took us along that journey.
Yeah, let's do something just to keep the
One point, and I also want to commend you on standing. It's really such an important part of being a good speaker. We see that with our Madam Toastmaster today. It adds something to your voice. It adds something to your movement. So congratulations on doing that. It's very easy, like me, when you're online to sit and not use the full extent of your body. And you did that really, really well. One point for improvement linked to that is just think about your camera positioning. It was quite low down, so you were looking down at us all the time. Maybe put it on a box or something just to lift it a little bit so that you're eye level with the camera rather than looking down. But that's something that will come with time, and you'll soon find it quite normal to stick it. I have a big box in my office, and that's where I stick it on, and that's for my speeches. Mm-hmm. So just to summarize, loved your storytelling. We got to know you. I loved you explore a bit. Yeah. Good words, alliteration like a cocktail of culture, good structure in terms of the flow, and kept me captivated throughout. And I can't wait to hear more from you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Dziękuję.
you.
I think
Dziękuję.
what's in.
Thank you so much, Madam Evaluator, for that thorough evaluation. Now, I hope our attendees have learned how it is done by giving what the speaker did well and then give them the area of improvement. Moving right along to our next speaker, and that is Anna Costa. Anna Costa is doing her advanced speech speaker, and she will be delivering an advanced speech. And her speech title is The Pocket-Sized Revolution and How It Shaped the World. The Pocket-Sized Revolution and How It Shaped the World. Anna Costa. Anna, over to you.
Once upon a sunny winter's day in KZN, a local author, Sven Axelrad, walked into Ike's bookstore. An avid reader, and client, Anna, bumped into him. She's very thrilled to bump into a very well-known author that she enjoys reading, but more so to see what books he has selected. The conversation goes something like this. Great stash you've got here, Sven, but it's torn. Why are you going for this kind of book when you can read hardcover books? They cost a little bit more, but hey, they last longer. He replied, oh no, I'm traveling with these. Sure, I'm not going to read them all, but the ones I don't, I'll leave at bookish places where people can stumble upon them, little treasures, you know. You're not getting it, are you? See, these are Penguin pocket-sized books. They are made to fit in my back pocket. I never leave home without one. You never know when the reading bug bites, right? Anna wishes him well, and no sooner is his back turned, she swipes her phone on the Google search bar, the history of Penguin pocket books. Good evening, Toastmasters. I'm Anna Costa, and I'm here to share with you my findings on the pocket book Penguin House books and how they shaped the world. Picture this, winter 1935, Exeter Station. A young man, Alan Lane, sits on a hard bench, waiting for his train. He decides to read something and strolls over to a bookstand. Newspapers, trendy magazines, junk pulp fiction, nothing to read. He ponders, and he comes up with a phantasmagorical idea. Why not come up with soft, slim-covered books? Ones that don't weigh too much, feather light, mind you, so that you can run to your train and not be weighed down. Okay, this is the romantic story. However, I did some more searching online and I came upon an interview by one of his descendants, and she swears by the following story. Three brothers, Alan, Richard, and John Lane, run a publishing house, Birdley House. It is during the Great Depression in the 1920s, and the brothers seek inventive ways to keep afloat and survive. They also have the ambition to publish the best of modern literature on a massive scale. They even sent an employee out to the London Zoo to seek for inspiration. The man comes back with doodles of penguins, hence the birth of Penguin House, an imprint of Birdley House. One morning in 1935, in their shared bathroom, the brothers are arguing and brainstorming. One takes a bath, the other one shaves, another one, well, let's just say he's sitting around. Collectively, they come up with this brainstorm of an idea, a slim pocket-sized book. And instead of a picture, they'd have a plain cream cover with a color band to code the different genres. This would keep the cost down, and each book was to be sold at the price of a packet of cigarettes. Whatever story version you'd like to cling on to, the advent of the Penguin pocketbook was a revolution in the literary world. Now, Penguin House targeted non-booksellers, mind you, and their largest retailer was Woolworths, and these books were sold like hotcakes to an eagerly awaiting market. Penguin books were not the first to come with paperback, mind you, but because they were brand promotion over ambitious covers, and because they kept the costs down and with a consistent quality supply, they revolutionized the paperback. Now, Anna, you might ask, how did a little penguin and a stash of pocket-sized books revolutionize or shape the world? Well, they regulated literature by making books accessible and affordable to the masses. They increased readership and education, and this primarily was during the World War II, where they printed pocket-sized books for the army, and the army in turn supported them and supplied paper resources. Very strategic. Thirdly, they impacted universal publishing. In 1939, they expanded to the US, and today they are one of the big 5 publishing houses. And fourthly, they gave power to books and freedom of expression. And this is where the twist comes in our plot in the story. The year 1960, the event, a trial. The book Lady Chantilly's Lover, uncut, uncensored, unapologetic. Penguin published it in 1960 and they got sued by the obscenity laws. They won. That book, one book, sold 3 million copies all over the world. They repeated this in 1960 with Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verse. In conclusion, the next time you see a Penguin pocketbook, I urge you to pick it up. Open it. Remember the story within a story that you've heard tonight. If the title tickles your fancy, buy it, irrespective of price or the shape of its cover. This book holds 90 years of history, which began with 1 to 3 brothers, one bright spark, and continues to reach millions of readers all over the world, including you and me. Madam Toastmaster of the evening, Delilah. Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, you had it. Next time, check if you've got Penguin books. I'm trying to check if I have Penguin book in the stack of my books here, but I don't think I do have. Thank you so much, Anna, for that interactive speech. It was amazing the way you changed the hats, the way you play around with your speech, the tone. I really love it, but that is not my place to evaluate you. It is the Madam Leader of the evaluation who is going to take us through your evaluation, and that is Mongile Mtoni. Mongile, I hope you're ready. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam MC, Delilah. Anna, thank you. Can I please be pinned with Anna? Because I want everyone who's going to be evaluating Anna to be able to see her as well. Now, without wasting time, can we please, from the audience, tell us 1 or 2 things that Anna did very well? I hope you were here when the first being evaluated, the evaluator mentioned a few things that the speaker did very well and a few things that the speaker needed to work on. So if I can have, by the show of hands, people who were listening of how a pocket-sized book actually transformed the world.
Neil's
Mr.
hand
Zoom
is up.
Master, please help me with the hands.
There's Neil on the screen.
Hi, Neil. Please come to the virtual podium and tell us what Anna did very well.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Anna. Your speech was really good. I really loved how you were quick on your feet in your improv of your characters that you have set up for us. I really loved how that that brought background to the story. I loved how that background played in the revolution of the Penguin books and how that gave color to the situation. I loved your natural speaking tone. It was so calm and I felt relaxed by your story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Niels. Can I ask if you're
Sorry, I did not hear that. Just say that again, please.
May I ask if you are already a Toastmaster?
No, I'm a guest for this evening. It's first time I'm here.
Well done. That is your icebreaker for the day. Niels, you have rightly spotted the things that Anna did very well. She had different characters in her speech and she used the props to differentiate between the different characters. Can I have another person to give evaluation to Anna? Mr. Zoom Master, please help me with hands.
I haven't seen any yet, but I'll keep checking.
Can I pick and choose if that is allowed from our visitors? Because I would like everybody to have an opportunity.
There's Gustav Jansen or Jansen. His hand is up.
Okay. whose hand is up? Gustav, please firstly just indicate if you're a Toastmaster and then give Anna her feedback.
I am an ex-Toastmaster thinking of rejoining. And my feedback for this speech was what I found, I would say from my personal opinion, the most positive aspect for me for the speech was the use of very interesting vocabulary. The word phantasmagorical, I don't know if I'm saying that right. That was really an ear catching. So the use of vocabulary was really good, and I also thought the speaker had natural passion, really was interested herself in the subject matter, and that came through.
Thank you so much, Gustav. Yes, I can't even pronounce that word, but how she just says it so simply, that was amazing. Thank you for noticing the words, the specific words that are being said when the speaker is presenting. Now, without wasting time, because we have very little time, can we then give something to Anna to improve on, or something that she needs to work on? What did you find that didn't gel beautifully with her speech? If you remember, with the previous speaker, they needed to improve on their camera positioning. Perhaps Anna's camera positioning was okay. I don't know what you saw, but please tell me, what is the one thing that she can improve from her speech? Any hands?
There are no
Just to save
hands.
time, no hands. Just to save time, I'm going to try and pick from the people who are here. It is unfortunate that there's no renaming of the people, so I don't know if people are guests or they are visitors. The difference between guests is that guests are people who are non-Toastmasters, and the visitors are Toastmasters from different clubs. So I'm going to call upon properly. Cole Mab. Cole.
Did I tell you I'm about to turn on the camera in the meeting?
Hi.
Hi, everyone. This couldn't have been the worst
Oh,
timing.
that's funny.
First of all, I wasn't here for the beginning of her speech. I literally jumped in as she was about to complete. And also, I just jumped out of the shower, so I figured actually I still have time. Let me join Toastmasters. So I'm absolutely in no place to speak on anything because I have no idea what is going on. I'm still trying to catch on. But thank you for the opportunity. Bye.
It is lovely to see you, Colleen. Colleen is one of our ex-members as well. We miss you. We would like to
Miss you
welcome you back.
too.
Gustav, I see you're back again for round number 2. Please go ahead.
The only thing that I noticed that I thought would have maybe added a little bit more dimension to the speech, which is something I also noticed with speakers earlier, is the use of pausing, maybe thinking of how to use pauses when writing the speech or when practicing the speech, how to use pauses to build drama, to etc. So that was my only thing that maybe could help.
Thank you so much, Gustav. That is so true, because when you pause, you create the suspense and you let the listener hang on every word that you're about to say next. I don't see Madam Timer, and I don't want to waste a lot of time in this meeting. What I personally picked up was perhaps she could have used vocal variety with the different characters. I don't know if anyone else saw that as well. Anna, well done with your speech, and you have been improving with each speech that you have presented so far. The confidence shows as you are presenting, and I can see now adding different characters, using prompts. You are slowly becoming a pro in this speaking or public speaking arena. I would like to give back to the Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Sibongile, for leading that evaluation. And thank you so much to the two people that contributed. Listen, this is a place, this is a space that is safe for you to really be vocal. Give us what's on your mind. Share with us what's on your thoughts. We really would love to hear what you have to say. Now, I must say that Madam Sibongile, while Anna was being evaluated, it made me realize that sometimes the only thing that we think about when we speak is succeeding. And I'm reading here from the book of one of our own. This book is Speech Checklist by Dr. Sibongiseni Mgolozeli. And in one of the pages, is page 159, he speaks about forgetting success. He says that forget success, pursue a meaningful, balanced, and healthy lifestyle. How is this relatable to what we're saying? Most of the time, we just want to get through the speech, and we know the nerves of giving a speech. We know the nerves of standing in front of people and speaking publicly. But this is a friendly reminder that forget about the success. Think about, pursue a meaningful and balanced speech, and the rest will take care of itself. With that being said, I would like you to pay attention to our next speaker, because our next speaker is an advanced speaker, a really, really advanced speaker. We call him a man that presents a keynote address. He is Guhle Mthembu, and Guhle is going to be giving a speech to us, and he is ready. You see, when I say to you people, he is an advanced speaker, already he is sharing with us. So Guhle is a seasoned business coach. He is going to be giving us a speech on the speech title, and my phone technology is not technology with me today. He is going to be giving us a speech titled From Fear to Foresight, How to Adapt When Everything Shifts. From Fear to Foresight, How to Adapt When Everything Shifts. I hope you have a pen and paper and ready to take the notes. Over to you, Guhle Mthembu.
I mean, just to kick it off, the year was 2008. I remember vividly sitting behind my trading desk, watching the markets dance in green. I was still a trader at that time. I had done everything to research, looked at every indicator, and confirmed that the charts were lined up perfectly for me to make that perfect trade, and everything was about to go well. And I was confident, almost certain that this was a trade that will make everything change for me. And then in a split second, everything shifted. The screen turned red, the market nosedived, and within moments, the profit I had worked so hard evaporated and gone like dust in the wind. I'm sure some of you will remember that crash that we had in 2008. I was in a position, for those that may be knowing how to trade. And that day, I didn't just lose money, I also lost certainty. You see, no one teaches you how to handle the kind of fear that grips your chest when your world tilts unexpectedly. In that moment, I realized something that will shape the rest of my life. It's not the change that breaks you. Let me say that slow. It's not the change that will break you, but your unpreparedness for that specific change. That's what will break you. And at that moment, I had two choices: to be paralyzed by fear or learn how to see beyond it. Because sometimes we find ourselves in circumstances where the current situation does not match the desired situation, or when our performance doesn't meet our expectations. Now, the question is, what do you do at that moment? How many of you have ever experienced that the moment when everything you planned for, prepared for, or prayed for just doesn't go your way? How many have experienced that? Most of us do experience that. And at that moment, you have two options. You can either panic or you can prepare for it for the future. My name is Guhle Mthembu, and today I want to take you through the journey from fear to foresight. Because whether you are running a business or leading a team or standing at a crossroads of change, your success will depend on one simple principle: how well you adapt when everything shifts. Have you ever noticed how many of us, some people, when things go wrong in business or people are quick to explain the reason why things didn't go well? Most of us have got that tendency. It could be the excuses like the economy or the load shedding or the government regulations or lack of funding. And yes, I do agree, sometimes failure really is caused by external factors. But sometimes it's because of us. It's things we don't make or that we don't do that make us fail. The hesitation, the inaction, the fear of trying when things are uncertain. That's when I realized that fear doesn't just make us panic, it also makes us passive. At one point, I decided to step back and analyze what makes so many businesses, including my own past ventures, to stumble, because I also ran a business in the past. And the answer was both simple and painful: a lack of clear marketplace imprint. Most of us, they don't have a clear marketplace imprint when you go out to the market. You see most of the business around, whether you are running a small enterprise in your village or you are running a big corporate in a big city, competition is fierce, margins are tight, and conditions are unpredictable. The marketplace remembers those who stand out and forgets those who merely show up, because some of us, they merely show up. Many businesses don't fail because they lack talent or resources. They fail because they don't leave a distinct mark. They don't adapt fast, they don't innovate when things shift, they wait for stability when the truth is stability isn't coming. And that's where foresight comes in. In market like ours, wherever you may be, you find that things are volatile. Beautiful and predictable foresight is your most valuable asset. It's what allows you to anticipate change instead of reacting. It's what will transform fear into fuel, because that fear is important, yes, but it has to be your fuel to enable you to do different things. Now, it doesn't matter what industry you operate in or what level of leadership you hold. Every organization and individual performs at a certain operational state. Whatever that you're doing, you are at a particular level of operation at this point as we speak. And the natural objective for any serious professional or entrepreneur out there, including you that you are here today, is to move to the next level of your success. Have a better overview of what you are doing. And at the foundational stage of this growth, when you are just starting, you may find yourself on what I call no performance state. This is marked by operational infancy and limited business maturity. Foundational growth requires, you find that the processes and structures, they are a little bit questionable, or either they are absent or underdeveloped or inability to show the scalability. Low or inconsistent output, performance remains mediocre, and quite a number of things that are happening. But at this stage, we are not saying you are not doing anything. But what is happening is whatever that you are doing is not noticeable in the industry. You are not seen because it is perceived as if there is no performance at all, though you are trying quite a number of things. But you may find that if you persevere enough, you move over to the state that I call a dormancy state. This state, there is a little bit of performance that we are seeing here, but it's also marked by stagnation and career growth that stalls. You find that there's little innovation that we're finding in what you are doing, or disengaged performance. You reach a particular plateau of failure to keep up with whatever that you're supposed to be picking up on. But you stay there enough, you find yourself moving into what I call a remarkable state. And that's where you excel in operations and you begin to stand out. How many of you have seen such professionals or businesses out there? They're at a remarkable state. They're exceptional in their operational efficiency and they understand the industry. They know, or they've got a strong knowledge of business operations that they are functioning in. And it doesn't end there. Some of them, they move to what I call a supreme state. Here, we find flawless execution. All operations are fine-tuned. Flawless execution, comprehensive functional tools, precision and correctness. Yes, you may think this is exaggerated. Some professionals, some businesses operate at this level, ranging from no performance at all, going all the way up to what I've just described, to the supreme state. Now, I just want you to reflect a little bit. I don't want to know which state exactly you're functioning at, but I want you to just reflect for a second and identify whether you can find yourself from that range of no performance right up to where the performance is right at the peak. Can you at least relate where you find yourself? Right. Now let's have a look at what takes place as you progress. Maintaining your spot at the position that is right at the peak usually requires a lot of commitment. Most of us on this diagram that I've shown, performance versus time, they have an aspiration of going straight to the top without any obstacles, but they get derailed and they find themselves on what I call a devaluation state. This is when an obstacle is encountered and a downturn occurs in your business or your career. This downturn is usually as a result of your responses to encountered obstacles. The most common responses that you find that there is resistance to change or adopting new technologies or services, or a tendency to blame external factors for underperformance without introspection. And there's a whole lot of things that are taking place at this point. And before you know it, because the attitude is not changing, you move further down to what I call the shrunken state. There are more obstacles that you are finding there. Before you know it, you find yourself there. And this is a state where you will notice performance further declining. And common symptoms there that you're peaking at this stage, you start losing interest in what you do or realize that you are mostly depressed and frustrated. You may think that changing jobs is a solution, but generally it's not a solution. And you are attempting to get to the top of where you desire to be, but things are not happening because of these forced changes that are found in your way. And from there, because of the obstacles continue to be there, you find yourself in the disheartened state. In this state, you might feel as though you are at a breaking point. The pressure and challenges of the industry overwhelming, leading to a sense of constant frustration. And this does happen whether you're on your career or you're on a business. This does happen. Why is this happening? Because there are constant challenges that you are facing and you were not predicting enough or you were not aware of them ahead of time. And this goes ahead. And while you're at the disheartened state, you may find yourself now thinking that when I started in my career, my desire was to be right at the top the shortest time possible. And you sit down, you look at where you wanted to be versus where you are now, and you realize that there is something that is missing. And that's what we're going to explore what it is. There are causes that are causing all these things to happen to you. And obviously, I may not go through various causes at this point, but if you stay here long enough, we will be looking into that. Now, that gap that you are seeing when you are at your lowest versus to where you want to be is what can be bridged by what we call integrated adversity preparedness. And what we are doing here, I just phrased it as integrated adversity preparedness, but what we are doing here at Toastmasters, we are giving you the all-inclusive competency and the timely operational tools as well as commercially dependable processes that will help you bridge that gap. Because for you to be able to predict what might happen next, it means you are continually improving yourself. At this point, I will hand you back to Madam MC just to assist you understand exactly what is it that we do at Toastmasters and how do we go about helping you to have that all-inclusive competency or the timely operational tools or the commercially dependable processes. How do we navigate this using all the various tools that we have within Toastmasters? Back to you, Madam MC.
Thank you so much, Gutle, for that masterclass, well delivered with class and poise. Let me tell you, you never disappoint, and it's so great to see you after a long time. Fellow Toastmasters and those who know in Toastmasters, we've got different clubs that we run. This one is a club, Visionary Readers, is all about books, and Gutle is part of the Entrepreneurs Toastmasters. That is why he is here to speak to us about his passion, his love for business, and as you can see, he is indeed the best business coach. I advise you to interact with him privately on the chats. You can click on the new chats and have an interaction with him for those who have questions and answers. And due to time constraints, I am going to allow that to happen privately with your permission, Mr. Keynote Address Speaker. And we are going to be moving over to our timekeepers report. Nompumelelo, Manzini Nompumelelo. Before you come to the fore, I would like to ask you to please explain to us why is it important for us to keep time in Toastmasters and in general, and also share with us the reason why you decided to take on this role. What is it that you wanted to learn from taking this role? Over to you, Nompumelelo.
Good evening, everyone. As the timer, I was timing the prepared speeches and the evaluations. One of the skills that you learn by being a timekeeper is listening and being attentive. I must say that sometimes the speeches are so interesting. You get lost in the speech, and I apologize for those where I raised the red card without even raising the green card. But it's all part of learning. So my report is as follows. Sibamoyo, who did her icebreaker, which icebreaker is 4 to 6 minutes. She spoke for 5 minutes, 32 seconds. And then Erica did the evaluation, and it was 2 minutes, 47 seconds. And then Anna Costa, who did an advanced speech, spoke for 6 minutes, 20 seconds. The joint evaluation took 7 minutes, 48 seconds. Gutle spoke for 13 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Timer. You are not getting away from answering my question. Why did you take on the role, and why is it important for us to take note of the time, keep the time, and be on time?
Okay, it's important for us to respect people's time, to speak concisely. Sometimes when you are not limited, you just might speak, without having a structure and just get carried away. But if you know how much time you have, you will try and compress your message and give people the key points so that they are able to focus and listen to what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, this is Toastmasters. We learn to respect the time and keep the time. We now move over to our last segment before the last segment, and that is what is in it for you, and that will be facilitated by Toastmaster Paul Mello. Paul, over to you. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Mbali, can I first do just a little sound check because I'm running 2 devices? Does this sound okay?
100%.
Perfect.
Thank you so much,
And
Paul.
can you see my shared screen?
Yes, we can see your shared screen, pathway construction.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Okay, good. So then I'm ready to start. This is a reflect on my pathway speech, but it's a what's in it for you speech. And I'm going to change it. And you're going to see a fair number of changes in this little 10-minute talk about what's in it for you and maybe what's in it for your club. So I'm the VP at Pretoria Advanced Club, and I want to talk about the strategic relationships pathway that I've just completed. This is my third pathway that I've completed. I actually completed it last year. I just haven't got round to doing this reflect on your speech, and I'm on to my fourth pathway now. When you start these pathways, for anyone unfamiliar with Toastmasters, Toastmasters International runs this fantastic online teaching resource. And there's 100 years of distilled cleverness, I would say, in there. Now, I come from a fairly scientific academic background. In all honesty, when you're going through some of these pathways, there's no deep academic problem solving, intellectualism in this. It's really back to what Mbali was saying at the beginning. It's learning, and it's learning by doing. These pathways take you through various levels, typically 5 levels, and then they sneakily call this, it's a 6th level, but it's the reflect on your pathway, which is today. I'm not going to go through the mechanics of every single level. I'm simply going to pick on some things as we go through. But if you're not a Toastmaster, then at least you're going to have this overview as to how a pathway is constructed. I would say it's a reasonably it's possible to do a pathway in a year if you want to, okay? You could probably push it even faster than that, but I think it's reasonable to give yourself at least 1 year, if not more, especially if you're busy with work and other things. So the first part of your pathway is the icebreaker speech. And well done to Sibo today for getting through her icebreaker speech. And then her next part, and anybody else's on a level 1, will be writing a speech. Then you'll go through things like introduction to vocal variety, to body language, and then you'll be into evaluation, and you will be asked to respond to feedback. So you'll deliver a speech, and then you will listen to the evaluation of you, and then you will respond to that feedback in a second speech. And then in order to complete that stage, you will have to go through a process of evaluating somebody else's speech, whilst you're being evaluated on your evaluation. And this is a very typical level 1 construction across any of the Toastmaster pathways that are there. If you've done more than one pathway, and as I say, and this is for me now a few, you start to corrupt maybe the pathway, right? I mean, perhaps nobody wants to hear my icebreaker about me all over again at my club. So I don't need to do the bit about who I am, etc., etc. And so what most people tend to do, maybe it's just my club, but we certainly foster it at Pretoria Advanced, is the idea that some of these categories, some of these levels can be made malleable so that you bring other factors of interest either for yourself or for your club. I started my icebreaker at an online academy, and in red you are going to see here, you're going to see that there are various other clubs presented. And so one of my first points for you, whilst you're going through your Toastmasters pathway, is that it's very valuable to deliver speeches at other clubs, and a variety of different clubs from online to in person. You need to do that to challenge yourself and to network and to meet interesting people and come across new ideas. My purpose for my icebreaker speech was to show how we created interest at Pretoria Advanced Club, which we like to say is the leading centre of excellence for public speaking in Southern Africa. It's not an absolutely needless boast. It is a lot to do with the variety and the various types of advanced speaking that we have fostered within the club. I'm going to skip parts of level 1, but I'm going to show you again that in the evaluation, typically what you would do is in S1, in speech 1, you would deliver a speech, and then S2 is you would often deliver the same speech. You're not obliged to do that, but it is encouraged to deliver the same speech. And the second speech, which is the same speech, has the difference of you incorporating the feedback from your evaluator from speech number 1. And that's what you're trying to demonstrate. Now you can cheat, as I did, because I went to various clubs. And it's not cheating, it's actually allowed within the Toastmaster pathway. But I want to show you that you can achieve that flexibility in your pathway, maybe especially if you've done more than one pathway already, and you've got other things, other fish to fry, other things that you want to get done. By the time you come to level 2, you start to, not only have you done a large number of roles in your club as if this is your first pathway, but now they're going to encourage you to perhaps undertake some projects, some electives, and perhaps some longer speeches along the way too. So in a level 2, you might be made to reflect on your leadership style, for example, or you might have to demonstrate something like active listening. For my project, I decided that I was going to repeatedly talk about what I would say are some of the failings of Toastmasters in having very small clubs. And so I talked about joining forces, and I did so at nearly 18 different clubs on multiple occasions. And I talked about the strength of playing as a team, because actually we're all after the same goal. And that is to be able to healthily deliver speeches in a nice environment, in a warm environment, but also a competent and multi-view environment. A meeting like today where we've got 20 plus people in the room, that's a good setting. 30, 40 in a room, now you're really getting critical mass and lots of different people inputting. Understanding your leadership style, I delivered at Entrepreneurs and Pretoria East. And I'll tell you that I did that twice because at Entrepreneurs, Andrew Suru told me off. I was actually doing an educational and said that I was trying to sneak in my speech, which I was, for my understanding leadership style. And it was a very good speech, he said, but you're not getting away with it for the sign off of your pathway. And so there's two things that I want to bring out here. I repeated it at Pretoria East and then it was signed off. But there's a couple of things that are worth knowing here. Firstly, some people, rightly so, won't offer you that flexibility. And then other people will turn around and go, well, you know, you've done a lot of different speeches and we're going to give you the flexibility to kind of do what you want within that category. And that's an important thing when you're more advanced within your pathways. You've done, you know, you've done more than one pathway. And now maybe you're you're doing the same levels, right? You've got the icebreaker, you've got the vocal variety. You need to do something different yourself. I would encourage you to do that. Certainly that's what we do at our club. And we appreciate that plasticity. Use it for yourself and use it for your club. Active listening was the second part of my level 2. Again, what would typically happen in an active listening session is that you would be encouraged to be the table topics master. For people who are not familiar with Toastmasters, this is an impromptu speaking session where you are normally running as the table topics master, allowing people to come up for 1 to 2 minutes and talk on a random topic for which they've had no preparation whatsoever. And that's a typical table topics session that you will see at almost every club on most occasions. What we chose to do with ours was workplace conflict. We brought in an experienced employment lawyer. We set up one person who had no idea what the problem was. They were just given a role. You are the boss of this person, you are younger than them. Or you are subservient to this person, but they're asking you to do something that's ethically wrong and in conflict with a genuine issue with workplace ethics. And so we set up one person who knew what was going on and one person who didn't. The person who was being evaluated was the person who did not know what was going on. And then we would set this up as a 10-minute, very flexible, actually, flexible time arrangement, which is unusual in Toastmasters, but great for this sort of thing because the person who's running that was me, could let these conflict scenarios play out. And they were absolutely fascinating. That's still talked about in our club to this day. We're going to repeat it this year because it really made you look and think, oh my word, I would have done that. Or I tell you what, I wouldn't repeat that accident. Or how that person said that really didn't work for me, etc., etc. So you can change things like table topics around, and we do. We have very involved and far longer impromptu sessions for advanced speakers. the last few slides I'm going to walk you through, and I'm not going to go into the detail of them. When you're doing something like the strategic relationship pathway or the similar ones now that's available, you're going to do things like networking as well. And so I went over to Centurion Toastmasters Club. You're going to present a speech to an unfamiliar audience. I went over to Capitol Hill. The point that I'm emphasizing once again that I made at the beginning is please go and visit other clubs to take advantage of your membership. Make those online, but make them in-person physical clubs if you can. There's something very valuable about putting yourself out there in that face-to-face way. Public relations strategies was something that we'd spent a year focusing on in our own club, Pretoria Advanced. And we had built, and we are continuing to build, our social media presence and our Google presence and so on. And I shared the information that we had obtained from professional influencers, in fact, and somebody else with social media experience who'd come in to talk to us, and I shared those at Scientia. And we have an ongoing build of the social media. And then the last part is your level 5. And there are various things that are done at this level. They're much longer projects. They involve other people. And then and the last part is preparing to speak professionally. That for me is fun, right? I mean, I've been speaking professionally in my work situation for 20 years. For me, this was something completely different. U3A stands for the University of the Third Age. And I was asked to go and speak. They're retired people, usually professional, ex-business people. They have an interest in a wide variety of different subjects. And I went to present on something that I have amateur interest in, which is the magic lantern. Madam Timer, how am I doing? Because when I'm presenting, I can't see your green, orange, red. Am I doing okay?
You're on 12 minutes now.
Okay, then we're going to draw it to a close there. Pretoria Advance, we're trying to encourage, other clubs are encouraging this for your club too, to think about how you run these meetings so that you can incorporate many other structures that are not the classical Toastmaster structure. Mbali and Mpumi, thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that detailed walk through the pathways in Toastmasters. And I hope that our attendees understand what Toastmasters is about and the advantages of being part of Toastmasters. It is such a great thing. I have already completed 4 pathways, and I can tell you that once you get to the 3rd one, you feel like you have it. And I will also wing it like you did, Paul. I would definitely wing it. Go to another club, think I can have it my way. But it's always great to have those people that always bring us back to our senses and say, no, you are not getting away. This brings us to the end of the formal session, but I want to make people aware that we are going to have breakout rooms. So you'll be allocated the breakout room. After the breakout room session, please do not exit the meeting, exit the breakout room. Before I say my goodbye, I would like to read again from my favorite book, The Speech Checklist by our very own club president, Dr. Sibongiseni Mgodozili. And I'm reading from page 169 for those in our club who have the book. And this book is talking, this portion here is talking about relationships. And the reason why I'm reading this is because today, right here, right now, you decided to join this meeting, not just to sit and listen to people, but for it to transform you, for you to meet your mentor. Some people have been asking, can they be mentored? For you to get the understanding that you are not alone, that your voice deserves to be heard, and the stories that you carry with you can be told, and people want to hear them. This is the portion I'm going to read. It says that the principal rule which is necessary to your emotional and mental health is the ability to always differentiate between transactional and transformational relationship. Resolve today to invest all your time and energy in transformational relationship, the kind of relationship that transform you to be a better version of yourself, so you can also improve not only those close to or around you, but the world you live in. With those words, I would like to thank you all for your presence and your attendance this afternoon. I know that you spent or you've removed some of the things that you're supposed to do to be here with us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for allowing me to drive this meeting from start to now, and I appreciate the opportunity to be your MC. From my heart to yours, may you be blessed with the best as you are a blessing to those around you. Please do not leave the meeting. We are going to go into breakout rooms, and we are going to have more conversation. This is an opportunity for you to interact. And guess what? We are giving away this wonderful book to our lovely participant, and it's disappearing. To our lovely participants, please make sure that you interact and you will get yourself a nice copy of a speech checklist. This is the book you need to master your public speaking. Trust me, it is a good one. Over to you, Mr. Zoom Master, to take us to the breakaway rooms. There we go.
Thank you so much, Madam MC, as our Zoom Master is busy sending us off to the breakout rooms. Please, again, I would like to emphasize, for those who will be participating the most, feel free to actually send us your delivery address. Usually, we prefer the nearest PEP store to your place so that you can send it directly there. That's where you'll get your book. So to get the book, please ensure that you participate. It's almost like if you want to grow at Toastmasters, we always say, don't be a spectator, be a participant. That way you will grow. It's almost like what was shared earlier. If you want to learn how to swim, don't just read books about swimming, but get inside that water. So please, I encourage you, if you want yourself a copy of that book, which is about public speaking, communication, and leadership, and everything you might want to know about Toastmasters, you will get it there. We'll be waiting for now for our Madam Zoom Master to allocate us into our breakout room. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Dibuseng. I think we've got most of the people back. Let's hear the feedback from the breakout rooms. Over to you, Madam MC or Dr. Sibu.
Okay, maybe I can start. I'm happy to share that Neo is keen to join. I will just share shortly. Neo and Niels, but I didn't confirm with Niels how soon he will join, but it sounds like it's also very urgent. I was about to ask also Enrico in our breakout room in terms of how he's feeling, but they ran out of time, but he will comment. So I'm happy those two have confirmed. I'll share the registration form now, or maybe personally with them since I have Neo's number, like privately.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's make a big noise for the 3 potential members. Woo Welcome, Neo. Welcome, Niels. Welcome, Enrico. We cannot wait to learn from you.
Looking forward to learn from you too.
Yes,
Awesome.
very, very excited. Thank you, guys. It was really cool. I really love the structure of it, and I really want to join. So I look forward to it. Yeah.
Perfect. And have a look at this face, because this face will be talking to you constantly and pushing you beyond your limits in terms of you presenting and taking up roles, because I'm the VPE and I run a tight ship. Ask anyone in this room. So happy to have you. Madam MC, any parting words so we don't take too much time of our participants?
Thank you so much, Madam VPE. No, I have already said my goodbye. I think I will hand over to the president of the club to just close the meeting for us. But thank you so much to everyone. Enjoy your weekend and be safe and be kind. Thank you.
Thank you to you as well, Madam MC, for steering this ship from the beginning until the end. I'm also grateful to all the guests, the visitors, the role players. But as I was trying to multitask, I was about to send in the chat the registration form for those ones who asked for it urgently. But anyhow, we have come to the end of the meeting, and I cannot say thank you enough to all of you who made this meeting a success. Also, for those who didn't participate, maybe they were still shy, but we are here to help. And the good things for those who have agreed or who have shown interest to join, we'll be in contact with them. They will be getting a copy of my book delivered to their nearest pet store, and then the details we'll get from them privately, and then we'll be happy. There's the book. Madam MC is showing it. I'm not sure if you have spotlighted, ma'am, but I'm sure most of us who were in the meeting saw it as you kept on reading from the book until now. But I think at this point, we're always welcome to stay behind for those who want to ask more questions. It's more chill now. The formalities are over, but we'll be here until exactly 8 o'clock. We still have 8 minutes to spare. That's how long our meetings last, from 6 to 8 p.m. every second and fourth Friday of the month. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or just unmute and shoot. Anyone? Otherwise, we don't mind asking maybe the guest or visitors. So let me start with Kuhle. Kuhle, sorry to put you on the spot, my brother and fellow Toastmaster, because I was so inspired by your composure, the poise when you delivered that keynote address. Please, can you share maybe one key secret, maybe for people who are new at Toastmasters, how to get into your level? One thing that you kept consistently doing to be where you are now as a coach, especially entrepreneurship or business coach.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Dr. Nkolozeli. You'll be shocked. I'm one of the most reserved person you can ever come across. And when I joined, I think the first time I visited a Toastmasters club, like it was still in person, and that was 2019, beginning of the year. But obviously, I was having a lot of aspirations back in the days, listening to a lot of leaders and reading from a lot of leaders. And I had Les Brown talking about Toastmasters. That was back in 2015. I couldn't find Toastmasters from there. Then I visited the meeting on the beginning of 2019. And I still look at the video of me delivering an icebreaker. Icebreaker for our guests is the first speech we ever do. We introduce ourselves in the meeting. Man, looking at that and now, I don't know what happened. But what I can just say helps a lot is just to participate. Get on a meeting, you don't have to prepare much. This environment helps you to grow naturally. As long as you show up at the meeting, you may be given a task of being a timer. You may be given a task of, it ranges. Whatever, it contributes towards your confidence and towards your leadership. And I usually make an example of, I don't remember when I started walking as a child. I don't remember exactly the single day when I began to speak confidently, but I just participated. That's what it is.
That analogy is beautiful. I guess I can relate to that as well, especially when you mention that you are the most reserved of people. Most of us will join for various reasons, but the most common one is because we want to overcome or to learn how to manage our fear of public speaking. And this usually stems from those limiting beliefs whereby you say about yourself, I'm shy, I'm reserved, or things like that. And then eventually when you join Toastmasters, you participate, you learn to be comfortable now speaking in front of an audience. So with more participation, it's almost like we said, using various analogies, or maybe like trying to drive a car, learning to drive a car, learning to walk as a kid. The act of doing that skill, the consistent practice gets you to be where you want to be, especially if you want to become a professional speaker or world champion of public speaking like Verity Price, who is a proud member to this day of Toastmasters. Her story is inspiring, like many of us who are now seasoned Toastmasters. And it's very also encouraging to see there are many people with the same common purpose. Some already good speakers, like I've noticed maybe Nils here and also Neo, but they want to refine their craft. And there's no better way better place, in my own opinion, to practice or to refine your craft than Toastmasters. Because here, like we say, we learn by doing. And if it's not fun, then it's not Toastmasters. I will ask now, Madam MC, before we close, I see we still have 4 minutes, but we won't have to wait until that 4 minutes elapses. Maybe, ma'am, for your skill of become as an MC, what have you learned as a Toastmaster that you've never learned before, that perhaps made you the good MC or program director that you are now?
Not after speaking so much and I'm put on the spot, things that this club make me go through. So what have I learned in Toastmasters as an MC that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else? Is that the question? Did I get the question right?
Or no, maybe what have you learned before, like as a Toastmaster, something that you were not aware of before you joined Toastmasters? Maybe your biggest lesson as a Toastmaster.
My biggest lesson as a Toastmaster is that nobody's coming to save you. Really, nobody's coming to save you. And we always believe that someone is going to do it. One of the things I used to say, I have an eye of seeing something in people. And all the time I would say, if someone wanted something, I'd say, yeah, I know just the person to do that. Until one time my mentor asked me, why not you? And that is the biggest thing I've learned. Yes, it's good to shout other people's name in a room full of opportunities, but the biggest question is, why not you? So I don't ask the question, who's going to give me the opportunity. I always say, no one's going to stop me. I have it. So the biggest thing to do is do not walk into the room seeking to belong. Walk into the room claiming your belonging to that room. Thank you.
That's power right there. Thank you so much for sharing them. I saw there was a hand from Nils. Nils?
Yes, I just wanted to make a humorous comment because MC, I just loved your story about the pastor and the cutting. I would think that the biggest lesson is to not take a scissor with you on your first sermon. But anyways, thank you so much, guys. I'm going to leave now. This was a really good space. I look forward to joining Toastmasters again. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Nils. We are looking forward to having you as a member. But at that point, fellow Toastmasters, guests and visitors, I think let's end it here. Please do enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We shall keep in touch with those who will be joining us soon. But for the rest of you, we'll meet again in this club in the first meeting in November, and that is going to be in the second Friday, same time, same place. Until then, keep well, keep safe, and be kind to yourself. Thank you. Until then, cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin.